Yeah.
So I'm going to be teaching about how to make computers more powerful and using the application, the sample application of databases. And just assume we have a database, and this is one table in the database, which is a table about some companies, and then financial and address. And what if I ask the database, tell me the market cap of IBM from this table? What would we get? Really? Think about SQL queries. What do you think we would get? Nimish?
If you don't have the IBM name in the database, then you'll not get anything.
Right, because I asked about IBM, not international business machines. And when you ask a computer what's the market cap of IBM, computer's going to return you market cap of IBM, which in this case, IBM doesn't actually exist in this table. To a human being, it's very obvious. International business machine, just IBM, synonymous. But to a computer, it doesn't know that. So what if now I ask you the question of, tell me sort of the address of MIT on the table? What would you get?
Error.
No.
You get an error depending on whatever database you're using. And what's the problem here?
You don't have the information.
So you don't have the information either. You're missing that record. And now let's ask a different question, which is, among all these companies in the table, whose company's logo looked the best? What do you think the computer would respond?
This best How would you even ask?
Comment look best.
How would you even ask? So think about all of these questions that I asked, actually fairly common and typical questions that people ask every day. And when you ask this to a computer, it's very, very hard for the computer to understand and respond. But think about how, if you were a designer of a computer, designing the next generation applications, how would you change the computers to actually respond to questions like this?
Like, maybe give, oh no, I take it back. Sorry, I was gonna say, like, give errors that tell you more about where the problem was, right? So like, when asking about MIT, give the error that like, there is nothing in the company line that is MIT. As opposed to when you're asking about the logo, so say there isn't even a column for logo.
Right. So that's,
I would make the computer be able to grab information from the internet.
so maybe making a computer being able to grab information from the internet. But that's a much harder problem in general because there's a lot of information on the internet. There's actually a much easier way to do this. Remember we talked about, it's very obvious the human being, international business machine, is really just IBM. And it's probably very easy for a human being to go on Google and search and find the address of MIT. But, or even for human beings to subjectively compare the different design of the logos among the companies. And it's very hard for computers to do. So why don't we just incorporate humans into a computing cycle and ask humans this question? When you actually issue a query to the database asks, maybe not you, but actually asks humans somewhere in the world this question. And then this brings me to the point of Amazon Mechanical Turk, which is actually a marketplace for you to submit questions or tasks to a market. And then people from all over the world will be able to respond to those questions. So if you're able to connect Mechanical Turk with your database and use your database to answer questions that normally it answers, and use Mechanical Turk to answer questions that database normally doesn't answer, this actually makes your system much more powerful than humans and computers alone can do.